How's it going, everyone? Jiivita here with a guide to finding diamonds. It's going to be kind of interesting because ball mining has been, I guess, nerfed, changed to where that, if you break rock, you're also breaking the resources, so I'll be using forged hammers for most of this. Certainly, if you can buy a better hammer than, say, iron, I would definitely recommend that. Participate in the player economy just a little bit, maybe gather something easy like saltpeter, fiber sleeves, sap, and sell some of that for coin, and then buy some better tools. That's going to make your life a lot easier. But certainly you can go in with at least iron tools and you will eventually make some progress. And on a separate additional note, I did get a request to basically make a more detailed video on how to find diamonds, particularly how to get to the planet, what kind of skills you would need, and particular strategies. So this video is going to be a bit longer than, say, my other videos showing how to find the other gems. So be sure to let me know if this is something you enjoy or you prefer the shorter style of video. How to get here, you can navigate to pretty much any of the portal seeker hubs. If you can get to like a tier 3 world like Betulia right here, in this east to west portals, there's even kind of like a path laid out on most of the hubs that designates the main drag. And if you want like some sort of map, you can hop over to the portal seekers forum post and you can find essentially this diagram or this map right here. So right now we're on Betulia, and you can see that there is this thin line that goes around in a circle. So this is that east-west loop I was talking about. Walk in a straight line and you're going through all of this. Betulia and Boundless are kind of off to the side a little bit just because they put in the shortcut right here. These are particularly crowded servers, and sometimes you can get stuck with the world full message trying to get into these worlds. So they put this little shortcut here just so that you could avoid that very situation if you don't actually need to go to those planets. But our destination is Serpent Serenity right here. It is the blast world and should have the most diamonds, or at least the highest diamond density. So if you're confused on how to get to this planet, you can say, oh, from here I need to go kind of like this all the way over to there. So from Betulia, we're going to head over to Boundless. However you say that particular planet, I haven't bothered to learn how to say it. Verona, which is the corrosion world. Then finally over to Serpent Serenity, and for this planet you will need at least 3 points into, I believe it's not kinetic armor, volatile protection, there we go. So if you want to go to the tier 6 planets, you can take 4 points, but 3 is all you need for the tier 5s. If you have to pass through, like say Verona, that is a different protection, so the weather will be really bad, but you should be able to just walk through, and assuming your portals load with any decent speed, you'll get through just fine. Another option is that you could go the other direction, which will take you through the tier 4 planets. And yeah, the tier 4 planets will need other protections as well, but shouldn't be quite as bad, I suppose. Once here, you'll definitely want an atlas, so potentially you could find these for sale kind of already explored. You could certainly bring a blank atlas and you'll just have to run around and at least explore a few regions, but this is the heat map for diamonds. If you don't already have a diamond to put into an atlas, a couple of other choices, preferably something like hard coal would be almost perfect, because hard coal is going to favor both areas that are very deep but also have a lot of terrain above them, kind of like mountains. So underneath mountains is going to be more common for hard coal, which is exactly where diamonds are found. They're found underneath mountains, very, very deep. Around elevation 6 is generally the consensus on the optimal elevation, but certainly all the way from 0 up to like 15 or 20, you can technically find diamonds. If you don't have hard coal, you could try using medium coal. If you have titanium, that would also be an ideal case. Some places you might be able to find these things are from meteors on easier planets. So if you attend the hunt semi-regularly, you might have some of these rare resources laying around. Gold might also work a little bit. So basically, let's see here, let's put in some golds and see. So yeah, gold is pretty much scattered around everywhere, but you could head towards some of the hot places, and if they coincide with mountains, you should be pretty good. Let's kind of head over to these mountains and see what happens. Okay, so my gold heat map is basically taking me straight to this mountain right here. I was just looking on the atlas and was like, oh wow, there's kind of like almost this peninsula hanging down into this dead area. And so this dead area is all of this water over here, and this mountain looks at least pretty decent for gold. Let's get a little bit closer and see how the diamond heat map works, just to get an idea of how well this strategy is actually going to work. Okay, so we're more or less over here. Let's pop out our gold and find my diamond. There we go. Okay, so as you can see, there are diamonds here. It's not as big as the gold heat map area, which makes sense because the diamonds are going to favor being under the mountains, basically. So you're going to want to get up to basically the highest point of the mountain before digging down, or you could start really low down there and dig horizontally until you do get underneath the tallest part of the mountain. Certainly one strategy, if you have a mountain that's very tapered like this, you could get up on top of it and actually save a location and basically kind of like the middle of the tallest part of the mountain. That way, once you get underneath it all, you could set that as a waypoint, and now you have some sort of guide to know whether or not you're still underneath the mountain or not. And in fact, you could save several locations to kind of outline, like, okay, here's one end of the mountain, here's the other end of the mountain. But certainly once you do find your first diamond, all of that kind of becomes unnecessary. Okay, and it looks like this mountain actually has this ginormous crater in it, so there is a little kind of blip of a dark spot over there. It doesn't exactly seem to coincide with this crater, although underneath this crater should be not very many diamonds. But at any rate, we can use this crater to our advantage to go ahead and kind of not have to dig through quite as much rock just to get down to a place to work. So let's dig down here, maybe seal ourselves up before that hopper decides to hop on top of us. Seal that up, and you'll want to check your depth. So let's see here, we can turn on the debugging menu. If you don't have debugging menu, say you're like on PlayStation, you can head over to the places and locations, and you can see your altitude right there. So what that would be, pressing down on the right side of the touchpad to open up character menu right here, and then places, and then there you go. So basically what you want to do is get to about elevation 6 or so. You can dig straight down like what I'm doing, but if you fall into some lava, yeah, that's a risk I seem to don't mind taking. But certainly if you want to do a little bit safer, you could come over here, dig down about as far as you can. That's probably good. Go ahead and jump down and then rinse and repeat. It's a little bit safer, but generally I just dig straight down. Okay, and we actually found a little cave system. Theoretically, you can find diamonds in caves now. I did some looking around, and I found it to be mostly an exercise in frustration. Trying to find caves on this particular planet they exist, but they are hard to find. It looks like maybe I found, whoops. There we go. Looks like I've maybe found somebody's tunnel. No, this is another cave. Okay. So now we're finally down to elevation 6. I ran onto a spot where it looked like somebody was ball mining or something, but yeah. So let's take a look at our heat map again. So if we were using the gold, we'd see a very similar thing to this. It would just be bigger. So let's put our gold back in here. Whoops. Let's put our gold back in here. And yeah, so we would want to go to the north. So kind of run north to south, maybe branch out east to west once we've gone far enough in those directions. Let's see what this looks like with a few other things in here. So very nice. If you have titanium, that is actually pretty good. I think it still is a little bit bigger than what the diamonds claim. Yeah, it's pretty similar. Of course, it's going to be a little bit harder to find a bit of titanium, but you might be able to get some out of a meteor. So yeah, let's take a look at medium coal. Very nice. So medium coal will get you to this mountain pretty reliably too, it looks like. It looks like it's going to be very similar to the gold heat map, so the diamond heat area is going to be a little bit smaller, just depending on how the shape of the mountain is and how tapered the slopes are. And the hard coal, I would imagine, would be even better. Yeah, so hard coal, titanium, and gold, medium coal, all of those are fairly decent options. The hard coal looks particularly nice because you can see the center of that just above my crosshair. Its edges are blue and it turns slightly green as it comes in. So that even gives you a little bit of a gradient to work with of, oh, I want to stay kind of within that green area. It's a little bit hard to tell, but yeah, it is slightly greener towards the middle. So hard coal is definitely nice. I'm not 100% sure you can get hard coal out of a meteor. Seems like you can, but I've just never really paid that close of attention. So, but certainly if you can get your hands on a diamonds, you can rarely get those out of tier 4 meteors as well, then that is certainly preferable. But you do have options on how to find this stuff. So from here, it's basically just strip mining. So you can just dig a tunnel, and there's actually all sorts of things you could do to kind of make this a little bit more efficient. So I have this tunnel right here that I'm digging, and I'm exposing, let's see here though, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 blocks. But what you could do is every so often, say like every 2 blocks, you could dig up, and you could also dig down a ways. That way you're only removing 1 block to expose all of this extra rock above you. It's a little bit annoying to dig down. I actually don't care much for this method, but it certainly is an option. You can kind of dig down maybe off to the side, or the method that I saw in the forum actually recommended just straight down from your main tunnel, but then you have an annoying hole that you either have to fill or hop over. And potentially you could do the same thing off to the sides. However, you probably need some kind of loop magnet depending on your reach. So you have these blocks kind of in your way. So I can pull up my loop magnet to go ahead and vacuum cleaner them up. But my personal preference, when I strip mine, I go for mindlessness. The more mindless I can make the activity, the longer I don't mind doing it. And particularly the easier it is to, say, maybe watch some TV while you're doing some strip mining. So you just kind of keep digging in a straight line, and once you've gone far enough that you're satisfied, you can hop over, say, 2 to 3 blocks and do it all over again, basically. So particularly grindy, but the nicer the tools you can get and the better the spec you can get. So basically you're going to want to come over here, and as far as specking, grab as much as you can possibly stand to grab as far as hammers. So then you got your hammer mastery here, your hammer epic. That's going to both increase your damage and increase your action speed. However, the biggest damage boost you can possibly get is going to be from power, and that is because if you grab all this power and you get the damage epic down below, that is going to give you 135% extra damage. So if you're unfamiliar, this damage epic multiplies the effect of power by 3 times. So the more power you have, the more advantageous the damage epic is. If you don't have a lot of power already, then the damage epic doesn't do quite as much. So power and the damage epic together are very potent. If you come over here to combat infect, you can see I'm getting that 135 general damage modifier. That's extra damage to everything you do. Maximum hammer mastery with the hammer epic, that's only an extra 50% damage, which is nice, but you definitely probably want to get the power and the damage epic first, and then optionally maybe even the dexterity first, because that's going to speed up everything, not just your hammers. But certainly if you can get all of it all together, that is going to give you the best edge that you can possibly get while trying to find these things. So let's go ahead and I'll do some mining. And yeah, if you run into lava and say it's coming out in front of you, all you really have to do is dig a hole in front of you and the lava will flow into that hole and not into you. So you could either just run away backwards or just quickly dig a hole below where the lava is going to flow. So I'll do some mining and we'll see what happens. So I do have this nice hammer over here that one-shots 9 blocks at a time. And so yeah, this is where having nicer hammers and particularly the ability to forge is going to come in great handy. Again, you can participate in the player economy to either get your hands on such a hammer or go ahead and make some money using other resources to be able to buy the power coils or diamonds, whichever one is cheapest, to be able to make this stuff yourself. But yeah, not long after I started mining, I think I did this little pilot tunnel right here, and then I started using my AoE hammer. Did run into a little bit of lava, as you can see here, but yeah, there's some diamonds. But here we go, here's some more. As you can see, you get, at least with maximum luck, you get 2 diamonds per seam, so that is pretty nice. And basically what you need here is you need to get somewhere in the ballpark of 80-ish. I don't remember if it's exactly 80 or if it's like 86 or something odd like that, but that will allow you to craft a couple of bulk orders of power coils. Or actually, I guess it's the compacted diamonds that will then allow you to craft your first set of workbench power coils. Once you have your workbench power coils, you can start crafting other cool things like advanced power coils, titanium tools, and stuff like that. Okay, and looks like we're pretty much done. Got 378 rough diamonds. The qualifier to this is that I think I used roughly half of my first food buff, and then I had an unfortunate death to lava, so then I used another food, and so yeah, that added like an extra 40 minutes. So I think in total roughly an hour and a half. So certainly takes a bit longer, but I got a similar amount of diamonds to bomb mining using this AoE hammer, so that's actually not too bad. Did of course take a little bit longer, and we did get a lot of iron, a decent amount, looks like 150 titanium, a little bit of gold, and quite a bit of coal. So yeah, quite a bit of hard coal, a lot of medium coal. So yeah, very nice. And the other qualifiers, I did have to go home at one point just to unload all of the rocks. So yeah, I had essentially an entire inventory full of nothing but rocks. I had to go dump that, and so that ate up a little bit of time, but not a whole lot. Anyway, I think that wraps this episode up. This was Jiivita. Thanks for watching. If you liked this video, be sure to hit that like button, subscribe if you want to see more like this, and if there's anything you didn't like, please let me know down below. Also, if you like my channel, want to get cool perks, check out my Patreon page. Until next time, peace.